So yeah, what kind of bass do you have right now?
So right now on tour I'm playing an Ibanez Sr Premium. It's a beautiful bass. It's mostly babinga and all exotic woods. Very light, very well balanced instrument. Sounds super bright. It's got Nordstrand active pickups and an active preamp as well. I find that this configuration and this style of bass with the electronics is a really great sound for any sort of metal that requires a very defined high register in the bass, while still providing a decent low end and mid range, whereas a lot of other basses will sort of be too dark or too bright. So this is a very well balanced bass. Asteroid Cables, which are gold cables, and they conduct really well into a chorus pedal, just a regular Boss super chorus pedal. I have a couple tapping parts in songs that really call for a warm chorus, and so when I'm playing chords or tapping something up in the higher registers, the chorus ends up sounding really nice. For my distortion tone, I use a Dr. J Sparrow bass DI as of now. It's got a pretty unbiased sound, so it doesn't take over too much, and it's not too out of control. It's just enough. And then as a boost, I use the Dark Glass Hyperluminal compressor pedal. It really works great because especially when you're doing a tapping solo, the dynamics are they're very different than when you're playing with your fingers, and so this pedal sort of evens everything out in a way that really only a pedal could, and it serves as a great volume boost because that stuff has to come through. So over in the amp, I use a DNA 800. DNA is a company that has one of the former makers from Eden, one of the original guys, and I find that it's a really quality bass amp head, and especially for metal. I really think that it has strong qualities in terms of the gain, the sweet spot of the gain, and the amount of power that it pushes. It's a really solid amp for metal. Super light. It can switch power, so I can take it anywhere in the world, and as long as I have the outlet, it works fine, and it really cranks. And on this tour, I'm running it through an Ampeg 8x10, the old reliable. It sounds really unstoppable, and it's been great playing with the rest of SevenSpires on this tour, and there's a lot more to look forward to in terms of the tours that we'll be doing in the future, so keep an eye out.
So what is next for SevenSpires, if you can tell?
Well, so we have a lot of things coming up in 2020. There's not too much that I can reveal about that, but we will be visiting many places, and we'll have a lot more for our fans that year. We signed to Frontiers earlier this year. They're a record label out in Italy that does a lot of power metal and basically any sort of modern metal, and they've been really supportive of our albums and our music and the stuff that we have going on. So they're great partners. Other than that, we're looking to cover a lot more ground in 2020 and going forward. So yeah, that's all I can say for now.
I just want to take that time to congratulate you for being a Berkeley alumni right now.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
And how it's been?
Well, that was great. I went to Berkeley College of Music in Boston as an upright bass principal, and I studied mostly jazz and classical music while over there, and also music business. So I handle a lot of business aspects on the road and in the professional world. So Berkeley is a wonderful place full of amazing people from all over the world, and it's been a great time being there, and I'm gonna miss it. So. Yeah.
So any final word?
Well, if you haven't heard of SevenSpires, you can check us out on any of the social media platforms. We've got one album out called Solvay, and there's a lot more to be expected in the works, so be sure to check us out. We'll be on tour in North America and all over the place pretty soon, so you'll see us.
Some few words in French for the Montreal guy tonight?
On est tellement content de soir ici. C'est toujours un plaisir de jouer à Montréal, et vous êtes tellement fous. Ouais.